Yes, it's on. So I'm just going to wait for people to join for just a second. This is going to be one of those quick, well, it shouldn't be too quick, but I'm going to do my best to explain it kind of videos. Hi friends, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life, where I'm literally quilting, because this is my life. I'm literally on my long arm. So I'm just going to wait for people to join, and then we'll get to today's discussion, which obviously I can't see nothing because I did not turn this on. Let's see if I can even find it for comments while I wait. While I wait for people to join. I know this does not pertain to everybody because not everybody has a long arm, but this is the first time in a long time that I've got a teachable moment here, so we might as well take advantage of it and do it on a live stream instead of a filmed, recorded video. All right, people are joining. Welcome to Nell, Mary, Flo, Laura, Brenda, C, Grace, James, S, Lopez, Muddy Mud. That's funny. All right, so what happens when you run out of backing fabric on a long arm? Because it's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to measure properly, and I could have swore I did, but things shift and adjust while on the long arm, and that is beyond our control. Main tips to make sure you don't run out of backing fabric. When you load a quilt all the way at the top, you know, you just put your top part up here and it's your first load. Make sure if you're using like red snappers that you can see them. You don't want it rolled up yet. You don't roll it up yet. Make sure that you can see your pins or your red snappers right there in front of you, and your first load should be all the way to the top next to how you pinned or zippered on or however you do it. Make sure you can see all that. That's the first tip to let you know that you shouldn't run out of backing fabric because you loaded it to the top. Those of you who roll it up a little bit, you're taking a giant chance of running out of backing fabric.
Does that light help you?
No, that's fine. I'm good right now.
Okay, well, it doesn't bother. It actually made the screen a little better.
Oh, okay. So make sure that. Secondly, make sure you measure. I measured, but I have two quilts on here. One already rolled up and one almost done. But guess what? Even though I could have swore I had it right, I used a 108 backing, but it's probably not fully 108. Sometimes that happens. I literally ran out with, here's my quilt top right here. Here is my red snappers. You can see, I'm going to move the batting out of the way. I literally have like 4 inches. 4 inches. Seriously? So I'm going to tell you or show you, we're going to show you, tell you and show you how to fix this while it's on the long arm. Even though I have red snappers, I can pop this whole quilt off and load it back on again if I wanted to. But I'm too lazy to do that, and I'm just going to piece it while it's on here. First things first, the best results, oops, I knew that was stuck on there. The best results come from having your ruler base on. I know it seems kind of whatever, but your ruler base is going to act as a table while you sew your backing fabric on. So what I'm going to do is, see, I have it in this mode right here, and Scott will bring the camera close so that you guys can see. I'm going to go ahead and start by putting my quilt top up over there. I'm going to take my batting and just flop that over there as well, and I'm going to expose my backing fabric. I'm also going to leave this tight, okay? If your machine, I need that, yes. If your machine has, what is the word for it? Magnetic channel locks, use that. But I don't have a magnetic channel lock, so this is what I'm going to use when I have pinned my excess off. Pinned it on, I mean, sorry. So I'm going to use that to keep my machine straight. The first thing you need to do is find your backing fabric, more of it if you have, and cut a piece twice as big as what you need. twice as big as what you need. So if you only need 4 inches, cut it 8 inches because you need to be able to repin it or reload it back on. So you need it to still be bigger. I have, however, cut 14 inches. Why? Because I can, and I was making a video for you guys. So obviously, I needed a little bit extra. So what I'm going to do is I need this. I'm just going to lay this on here. I didn't cut it to size yet, so I'm going to literally, yeah, I didn't cut it all the way to the end yet. So I'm going to actually do that. If I can reach my scissors without blocking the camera too much. I'm going to come over here and just scissor cut it so that I don't have to stitch all this extra and have all this underneath. You don't want all that extra underneath. So we're going to move that. The next thing we're going to do is, can I have my pin bucket, please? It might not come off. If not, just give me a bunch of pins. Just grab them by the handful. Yeah, it's not going to come. Oh, there it goes.
It should come off.
All right. The next thing, I need my pins, which magnetize right here. We're going to take pins, and we're going to take our fabric, and we're going to put this right sides together underneath. I know, right? So weird. So I'm going to go underneath right here. And I'm going to line it up near my red snappers.
You want me to hold the other end?
Well, I'm going to pin it right now. So
Yeah, but you need another hand, so you don't have to use
I'm going to
that
put one pin in first, right here at this edge. Then I'm going to straighten it out and add another pin. I'm working up. Am my right sides together for sure? Okay, good. This fabric is like hard to tell. So now with my fingers under here, I'm going to add another pin. My fingers are still under here, making sure it's staying straight, adding pins. Making sure it's staying straight, adding pins. Still straight, adding pins. I'm working from underneath, and if you need to like go underneath and see, which I can feel it with my fingers, adding my pins. What do I need to know about what?
What do they need to know about someone else quilting with?
Do they need to know about someone else quilting your quilts? Well, you need to make sure you send backing fabric that is 4 inches bigger on all 4 sides. So if your quilt is 90 by 90, your quilt top, you know, then your backing fabric needs to be 98 by 98. Or just send it with a 108 because that makes it even easier for the long arm quilting servicer, for the person that's doing the work. So you can see I'm just throwing all these pins in all the way down. They're about, I don't know, 3 inches apart.
You need to match the design.
I do not need to match the design this way, no. It's kind of hard to do that. That's why I'm using just a whatever fabric, and this is actually a quilt for my neighbor, so. The one that's ran out of backing fabric, at least. The one above it is a for sale quilt, but this one is for my neighbor, and I figured why not load it while I had this on here. I'm at the end now. I throw this last pin in there, and now, because I need to, I'm going to take that. If you look underneath, can you bring the camera to show underneath?
Turn it upside down?
No, just go down. Tilt it up so you can see how it hangs now. It's pinned in place, right sides together, and now you have it hanging. You need to take and push it up and out of the way and throw a couple pins in it way far at the edge. It's a lot of extra work, but this will help you get nice and perfect and not roll over onto yourself. All right, I'm going to go this way now. You definitely don't want to stitch a fold into it. And this doesn't actually take that long. This is pretty quick, honestly. All right, now that that's out of the way, there's no chance that this extra will end up in where I'm creating a seam. So now it's time to create the seam. All right, bring the camera up.
I'm coming.
I'm going to move my pins out of the way real quick. And I am going to bring my machine over here. Remember, ruler base is my straight line. I'm going to lift that fabric up and out of the way so it's on the ruler base. And it should stay up and out of the way the rest of the way. I'm going to bring my machine down to here where I want to start. Making sure my pin stays nice. I want to start right here. So what I'm going to do is bring, oh, come on. My fingers are struggling with grabbing thread today. I'm going to bring my bobbin thread to the top, take a stitch. That's where I'm going to be at. Now, like I said, I don't have magnetic channel locks, but I do have the plastic one. I'm going to lock it on my wheel. I just use one. I don't use both. I just put one on there and I stay pretty straight. So now I'm going to actually change my stitch length. I'm going to go to about 14 stitches per inch. That way, it's just like I sewed it on a machine. And the next step is to just very carefully, because I have pins here, I'm going to make a stitch right here. I'm going to very slowly go straight across. I'm going to watch while I go over my pins, and yes, I am literally sewing over the pins. Just very carefully. These are very fine pins, so it's okay. Nice straight line happening here. And everything is pinned up and out of the way, so I shouldn't have taken a chance to run anything over. All right, I'm at the end, I'm back stitching, which is just a back and forth stitch. I'm going to pull my little clamp thing off and then bring my bobbin thread to the top, make that cut. We're going to slide the machine back over to the other side of the frame. And here's the fun part. I'm going to remove my pins. It'd be best if I had my little pin tray so I don't hurt myself. Sorry. All right, so now I'm going to, oh, I should leave these in here for just 2 seconds on this one. Sorry, guys. This hasn't happened in so long. Now, I know this is so strange to do. I'm not going to disconnect my red snapper yet. I'm just going to leave it on there. And to make sure that I have a little bit more than a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm actually going to go ahead and cut away, moving my pins out of the way as I go. I'm literally cutting away about, I don't know, 1/2 inch of a seam allowance. And the whole thing's going to fall as soon as I finish this. And if you go just right, you can just pull it like a zipper straight across. It doesn't matter. I'm just sliding my scissors across and moving my pins as I go. My seam is obviously not perfectly straight, but nobody's going to see inside this quilt. All right. It is now disconnected. And now I'm going to pull my red snappers off.
Did you learn this by trial and error?
Yes, this was trial and error. When I first started, it happened on my other machine when I was using my Juki. And I didn't know how to do it, but I was like, you know what? The Juki was flat, so it had a regular stitch. So I was able to just get it done, and it worked out perfect. All right, I'm gonna roll this quilt up just a little bit more. Lock this bar in place. And now I just have to reconnect my red snappers. I need to go just a little bit further. Right there. All right. So all I'm doing is just lining it back up, hooking it back on. The red snappers make it so much easier. I highly suggest, if you are going to start long arm quilting, to do the red snappers instead of pinning. Pinning drove me crazy, and I used to stab myself so much, like a whole bunch. And now I don't stab myself. All right, this one was just a little bit longer than the previous one. And now I like an open seam, so I'm just going to take my fingernail all the way down this and open this seam up. It's really easy to do because it's got tension being pulled onto it. So the seam opens beautifully without having to iron. So now all I need to do is put my batting back down.
The red snapper's hard on your hands.
The red snappers are hard on my hands because I have arthritis, but if you do it just right, I use this part of my palm to put them on. All right, and now look at that. Plenty of room, and I still have 5 inches or so to spare. So I'm just gonna straighten it up. Have I what?
Have you ever basted your backing to the leaders?
Have I ever basted my backing to the leaders? No, I don't do that. Like the zip-ons and stuff like that, I don't do those either. Yep. All right. And that right there is literally how it's done. And I told you guys, when I do my own quilts, do you see? Here's the quilt top right here. If I fold this on it, that's how much backing fabric I have to grab. I prefer, if you send me a quilt, to have 4 inches all the way around. But when I do my own, I literally cut it so close because I hate to waste fabric. And I don't need any waste because then I have to have more scraps to process. But when you send me something, please send me more. More fabric. But look at that. Now it's rolled up and I have plenty of room to go. So any questions before I get off of here? I'm going to answer one of them. This, if you don't have the magnetic channel locks, you can go to your local quilt store, the ones that sell long arm quilting supplies. And these are the wheel locks or channel locks for Handy Quilter. They're under Handy Gadgets, Handy Quilter, Handy Gadgets. You get 2 of them for like $12 or something like that.
Just tell them I put a link in
But
for our shop.
Scott put a link in for our shop because that's where I bought these. So you'll need these. You have to have some kind of channel lock on your machine to get this straight because I can't stitch a straight line on a long arm. I doubt you can either. And then obviously you need your pins because you have to pin it on and you have to have your ruler base on. If you don't have a ruler base, pin everything first and don't disconnect and make sure that you get it all pinned out of the way if you don't have a ruler base. But if you notice, that ruler base acted as a flat, what's the word for it? It acted as the base of a sewing machine, like a regular sewing machine. So I had like a table like I do on my Juki. So just know the ruler base helps and pinning helps, especially pinning it up out of the way. Some people just kind of push it out of the way, I've seen in the past and videos and stuff. I pin it out of the way. That way I'm not taking the chance of running any of it over and then sewing it to itself. So let me grab this.
Have the white bar going across. What does it do?
The machine doesn't have the white bar. This bar right here, I'm just going to give you a little long arm lesson. This is your take-up. This is what your quilt back actually hooks to. This is a leveling bar. So this keeps it level straight across. So it has to go from the back side under the leveling bar to the front side and on top and under. It rolls from on top so that it rolls out to keep this flat on the belly bar. So this is belly bar. The quilt top bars on the floor, I never use that. I mean, only if I really, really have to. So belly bar, leveling bar, take up rail. That's what that is. Any other questions?
You're asking if you quilt for other people.
Yep, I quilt for other people. For sure, email me and, well, email Scott at tiffanysquiltinglife at yahoo.com. He is the one that answers all the questions and stuff, you know, unless it needs my help. But he does all that because I'm the show. I do all the work right here. I do this. So I don't have time for messaging anymore. Yep, 3 cents a square inch for basic. And I free motion. There's no computer here. I know my machine has a screen on it, but that's not a computer. That's just my stitches per inch and stuff. I don't have computerized. All right. Well, if there is no other questions, I hope that this helped for those of you who own a long arm or even are curious about it on how to attach more backing fabric if you run out. Try not to run out though, because I mean, that's a little extra work that you don't really want to do, right? So try not to run out. But if it happens and you're like me, loading 2 quilts on 1 backing fabric and you thought you got it right, you know, this is how you do it. So thank you guys for watching and hanging out for a few minutes. Oh, you want to watch me finish the quilt? Okay, fine. I'm gonna finish it up then. Ow, that poked me. My pinning went upside down. Okay, I was gonna get off, but it's only a quick little, I literally have this much left, so might as well slide that under. I'm going to change back to 10 stitches per inch because that's what I stitch in normally. Plus I'm working with, this is flannel top.
You want the other light on?
No, this light's fine.
How about your quilting light?
Oh yeah, I'll turn that back on. I had to turn all the lights off so that you guys can see. I'm not going to even be able to get this on here. We're going to pretend it's good. Back to baste. Yeah, you could see why you're supposed to have space between your thing. My thing is hitting it. It doesn't help that the ruler base is on. I don't need that for this. All right, here we go. I usually don't know what design I'm going to do before I start. Most times it comes to me once it's loaded on the long arm. This one's just getting flowers and loops. Very simple. It's for my neighbor. I got to rehook this side though real quick. Kind of gave myself a little bit extra space, but not much. All right. I quilt fast. I really don't know how to quilt slowly. My brain just does not comprehend it. didn't get a chance to base this side yet. I'm just working off the initial. All right, and now I just need to baste where I added my backing fabric to make up for my mistake.
There you go.
Yep, roll away. About a little bit more.
I know.
Right there. That's good. Thank you.
It's tight. Got a lot on there.
Yep, it's really tight because this is 2 quilts. Who?
Laura.
Thank you, Laura. It's very sweet of you. All right, so I'm going to base the rest of it.
Any fabric you don't like quilting?
Any fabric I don't like quilting. Polyester.
Glitter?
Glitter. That's what's on above this is a glitter fabric. So when I baste, sometimes I just use the machine to push down so it pulls in any fullness, which there isn't, but this is flannel, so it kind of stretches a little bit differently. Also, the camera is in my way.
I'm moving it. Wait, can't take the
All right, just gonna
I'm moving it. I'm moving it.
run the rest of this. Come on, go, go, go. All right, now just stitch it the rest of the way. What?
Do you have designs that you can use?
Do I have designs that I can use? Yes, I have a bazillion of them in my head.
Tell me
It's all free motion. I don't,
computer. This is all
no
you.
computer. It's all me. I probably know about 300 different stitching variations of everything. Like everything that I can do, I can variate it into something else, which makes something new. So I can just keep creating new stuff. And then as well as my, free motion and ruler work or just ruler work or fancy quilting or whatever you want to call it. I know how to do all sorts of stuff. Just naturally. I don't know how I know, I just know. And because I free motion quilt, there's never two quilts quilted exactly the same. They could be the same exact quilt and I could do a meander on both of them, but it's never going to land in the same spot each time. It's always going to be different. All right, now that I have both of these, I'm going to give them a quick check. I always.
Yeah, they wanted to see both as well.
Yeah. So I 100% every single time before I even unhook anything, I check the quilts. So I'm going to check them to make sure that I don't have no skip stitches or whatever, because it's been happening. The machine isn't fixed fully, but I've got it sort of good.
Sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of. It's not perfect right now, but. So I just go through. Skip stitches usually pop right out. So does anything that's tension-wise off, so I can see on the back if I feel it. Most times I can feel if the tension's off. I'm used to my machine, so I know how it works. So I'm looking at the back as it unrolls and the top to make sure all at the same time. And since I just quilted this section, obviously I just saw it. So I literally just make sure all the way down. We're coming up to the end of this one. I used to do tattoos. There's my artist background, but I can't tattoo for the life of me anymore because my hands shake. But I can quilt. Totally different way of holding things. All right, so that one, now I just got to check. Still up there. Everything was good. So you guys remember this from, I don't know, was it So Sunday or Breakfast at Tiff? I think it was So Sunday because I made the first week something came out wrong, and my goal was this. Well, I'm going to pull them off and I'll lay them on the floor so you can see both of them fully. One is for my neighbor. Shh, don't tell. She doesn't know she's getting it. But I made a quilt for her granddaughter and I had leftover fabric from it, so I made something for her. All right, so once I know everything's good, I literally just pop it off. And I'm kind of OCD about keeping everything nice. And then on this way, I check the backing. I do it very slowly. Yep, you can see where I've connected the two of them. Yeah. All right, pop all this off. Over there. There. All right, we're gonna lay it on the floor now. So you can see.
Back first?
Yeah, so
You can show them
from the back side, yes, I walk all over the quilts, by the way, if you guys didn't know. Clean feet, because we don't wear shoes, and Scott's always sweeping and mopping and vacuuming and everything. They can't see, we have to come close at the camera. So I'm going to bring the camera real close so you guys can see. So right here, if you see, there's two lines of stitching. This is the second quilt, this is the first quilt. So you can see I just butt them right up to each other, which you'll see from the front. And then here is my seam. I know it doesn't match, and you can see it, and it's literally right on the edge. But like I said, it's for the neighbor, just for them to have for her to have a little couch quilt. Let me turn this. And here are the two quilts. So you guys remember that one? It looks 3D. So I just did a meander, which really sucked, and I can say that out loud. Inside all this glitter fabric, I couldn't see the stitching, so I kept running over myself and had to go back and pick it. It was really hard to see. Anywhere that there's glitter fabric, the thread matches it so good that I could not see whatsoever.
Well, you did a great job.
But I did a good job. So see how close I butt them up? I measured. I thought it was going to be good, like seriously. And then the second one is just leftover fabric. It's leftover from the How to make a rag quilt. That's just all the leftover pieces. I threw it all together and made just a little cozy couch quilt with the leftovers. And then obviously I just quilted the flowers and loop-de-loops. This one looks really nice. I like that. It looks so cool on camera because it's so 3D. Yep, and it will be for sale. I just have to find it. We can come right here now. All right. Sorry, guys. Camera. Moving it around and stuff. Anyways. So now I just need to trim them apart and do that thing. Hopefully everybody understood the seam, which is on this one. I mean, it wasn't bad, and obviously it doesn't line up, and it literally is only 4 inches worth of space, you know? But it's a straight seam, which is a plus. It looks like it was done on a sit-down sewing machine. It's nice and straight. Everything lines up.
I don't even notice it unless you point it out.
Yeah, unless it's pointed out, you really don't really notice. It's a pretty blendy background, so. And it's also sideways from the original design, but I hope this video helped with that, because adding that for some people might be like really hard, but it's not. It's not very hard at all. As you saw, it went really easily. So, all right. Now I'll ask any questions before I get off of here. Oh, you can't even see my face. I'm not even on camera. Sorry. Anything? All righty. Largest I can long arm. My long arm is a 12-foot frame. My leaders themselves are 132 inches. I prefer, because if I have 132 inches, I can't fit the machine all the way over, and everything has to come off the table. I can do 120 inches perfectly fine. So if you have a ginormous king-size quilt that's 120 inches by 130 inches, which is really crazy, but I've done it, I can quilt that comfortably. Let's see.
Length is no problem.
Yeah, length of the quilt is no big deal. Also, real quick tip, real quick. Remember I was talking about these leader bars? This is your take-up rail, leveler, and this. When you have a seam, if you're just getting into long arm quilting, I should address this, and you just started and you don't know what is what. I highly, highly, highly recommend when you piece your backing fabric to make sure your seam is horizontal. That way it runs with the bar. The seam will be with the bar. The way I pieced that bottom piece on there, you want the seam to go with the bar, horizontally. You do not want it vertically, unless you absolutely have to, but then you can just turn it horizontal and turn your whole quilt, if it's directional, sideways, and load it sideways. But vertical seams, just so you know, the top part when you're on the take-up rail, if you don't have a take-up rail and you are just the flat bar that lays against the machine, like my original machine did, I only had this bar and it came over like this. When this gets full, if you have a vertical seam, what's going to happen is that vertical seam is going to get thicker and thicker and thicker as you roll it up. And then you will have trouble moving the machine against it because they don't really give you much space between the bed of your tray, and doing bigger quilts is harder. So, and if even with this lever being the take-up one right here, having that, I still prefer 100% not to have a big bulky seam building up in that center. It's easier if it just runs along the frame. So horizontal seams, not vertical. So however you can piece your quilt back, if it was pieced vertically and it's directional, turn the whole entire thing sideways. Okay? And then load your quilt sideways. Just thought I'd let you know. That was one of my big tips, because when I first started, I didn't know, and I kept having that problem where I couldn't move the machine because it was stuck from vertical seams. So just know that's the best way to do that. All right, anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here because I am now hitting my nap time. And, well, we all know how crazy I am if I don't nap. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I will see you guys all. Thank you for hanging out and love y'all. Bye.